Hey everyone, welcome to the Pontoon Restoration. This is part 3 of the video series. Now last week I cleaned up the tunes, got all the algae and crap off of them, gave them a little acid bath. This week I'm replacing the deck and we're going to be painting the fence panels. So to put on the new deck plywood, I get my buddy Tyson and my brother Aaron to help me move these heavy pieces in place. And this marine grade plywood, it's not light, and it's they definitely get their money's worth for it. So when I tore the old stuff off, it only had the 2 bolts in the front and the back, and then it was held in place by these they're like little I-beams that kind of squeeze the boards down onto the frame. So we're going to be putting those back, and it was a little tricky to get those in place. So basically we just put some beeswax on the edges of all the plywood and the edge of this aluminum I-beam, and we just had to pound it in place. So pretty much just 1 inch at a time, pushing it in place. It was quite the task. And with all the I-beams in place, I went back and added the hardware. Now I added more than just 2 bolts. Each sheet got about 6 or 8 bolts onto the metal frame beneath it. And then we went ahead and we had to smooth out all those surfaces. So these are elevator bolts. They kind of sit flat, but they're not perfect. So I went back with almost like a house spackle finish for drywall. This was outdoor rated, waterproof when it dried. So perfect for our application. Went over all the seams and all the bolts, and then that way if we did get any water in there, that it would be waterproof. And after the first coat, I went and sanded it all and then made a nice second coat just to make things smoother. And once I got the second coat all on, when that dried, just went back and sanded it all again. And this kind of gave us a really nice smooth finish, really cleaned up the bumps and that we would have felt underneath the vinyl. Alright, next we're going to tackle these old fence pieces. Now these had some aluminum, this yellow nasty aluminum panels on the really just the lower end. Didn't really do much for splash or weather or whatever, just look kind of, I'm sure that was the style at the time in the 70s. But we're going to pull these off, which was a little harder task than I thought. There's a lot of little rivets. The gimp trim that's on these was very hard and brittle, pretty sharp. So I went through and drilled out all the rivets, and I broke probably 5 drill bits doing this. So, but once I got the hang of it, pulling all the panels off went pretty smooth. It was just kind of a tedious task here. Okay, with all the old paneling off the fences, we went back and cleaned these up with a pressure washer. And with those clean, I went back and checked on the decking, and that was dry, so it could be sanded down to a perfect smooth finish. Now I wanted to get this thing as smooth as possible so there's no bumps, or you don't really feel anything when you put the floor on. It's not like carpet, the vinyl flooring that I'm using, where it would kind of hide some imperfections. This vinyl is anything that you have underneath is going to show at the top. With that sanded down, I got the deck blown off with a leaf blower here. Then all the little sand and debris is off of there, and rolled out the new vinyl floor. Made sure we had enough material to fit end to end, and we had plenty. And got right into gluing it down. Now this comes with 2 gallons of glue, and you just want to do one side at a time. Just pour it right out of the bucket, and then roll it all on with a paint roller, smoothing out any globs or anything that might be on the deck. But yeah, this was really straightforward. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, especially with just one person. And with the vinyl floor glue setting up, I went to work on the fences. Now those are dry from cleaning, and they all needed a primer coat. So that's what they're getting first. That's the white paint here. And it was kind of funny. I only have the 2 sawhorses to work on, and having the 4 big fence panels was kind of a challenge. Now the primer dried really fast, so I thought that was pretty standard timeline here, but when I switched over to painting the fence panels with the actual black paint the next day, they didn't dry as fast. So I tried to figure out a way with this cart here to maybe set it up a little different. They're a little wobbly on a wheeled cart, and the last big panel that I put on there tipped over, fell right into the grass, so that was kind of a mess. I had to go back the next day and clean it up, sand down all the grass that was stuck in there, and repaint them on the driveway. So our vinyl floor has set up overnight. That glue is nice and dry, and we're gonna go ahead and trim off all the excess, the edges here, with just a razor blade, razor knife, and yeah, this stuff cuts pretty easy. And you're just gonna work your edges just real slow. Just follow the contour of the plywood, and you're good to go. All right, next we gotta staple down the edges of the vinyl. Now this isn't necessary. I know when I looked at a couple forums and tutorials and stuff, some people did it, some people don't. But I feel like if you do get a little bit of water on the edge of the plywood or whatever, and that the vinyl starts peeling up, maybe because over time, you know, that it's just an extra mechanical fastener to hold that down. So I went around and we probably put like, I don't know, 300-400 staples in all the way around the edges. It was quite the chore. All right, and with the staples in, this is where I went back and I sanded down the grass out of the panels, and I decided to give them another coat of paint, and we primed some areas or whatever that had gotten missed. So did them all at the same time on the end of the driveway, and it worked pretty well. Maybe a little bit of paint stain on the driveway, but not really a huge deal. It's a driveway, and it's gonna get run over with the cars and get snowed on and scraped up anyway, so I was okay with it. Yeah, with all that painted up, this is the end of the third part of the video. Please hit that thumbs up button if you like the video, and subscribe if you want to follow the series. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day.